Hello everybody, this is Christine Bertram with Cards by Christine, coming to you with a Tip Tuesday. And today we're super excited because it is the launch of a new suite of products. Oh man, I don't even know if I know what they're called.
Butterfly Brilliance.
They're called, thank you Kelly, they're called Butterfly Brilliance. And as demonstrators, we could purchase them in February already. And it's open up to the customer base starting today, March 2nd. And there is a stamp set, there are dies, there are some pretty designer series papers, and there's also another paper called a natural specialty paper. I don't think that's a very creative name, but we're going with it. So what though the feature for Tip Tuesday is actually coloring the natural specialty paper, which is something I did not think to do until I was on a Facebook group that is shared by other demonstrators, and a fellow demonstrator from Germany showed that you can color this paper. I'm like, oh, well, that makes sense. So I thought, well, if it was an aha moment for me and Kelly, we thought that we should share this with you guys so that you know it right off the get-go that you should color this paper if you are having a hard time with working with it because of the color. And I'll be honest with you, I made a few cards with this suite of products and I was having a hard time incorporating this natural paper in because it is a different color. And it's pretty on its own, but I didn't know what to pair it with. So I've got some samples I can show you too, with cards that I made using the paper, but what I want to show you is coloring it. So this is going to be funny, and I can relate because in my basement there is wainscoting going up the walls, and it's gonna look like a blast from the past, and I would have to date it back to the 70s with this coloring of the specialty paper. So, are you guys ready to see what I'm talking about? Give me some thumbs up and some hearts if you are, because you're gonna love it, I think. So, I saved one of them to do with you guys to show you. I definitely have my favorites, but this, oh Kelly, can you bring me the paper? I think it's somewhere over there. Sorry guys. I'm like, poor Kelly, she's working on a Technique Thursday card for you guys right now, and I'm distracting her, but thank you. So this is how it's called, natural, back here, Natural Touch Specialty Paper. You get 2 sheets of it, and it's 12 by 12. And it is really pretty wood grain on one side. And if you guys, it's like wainscoting. And then on the other side, it's a very, very subtle texture. Let's get the whole plastic out of the way and look at it so it's not reflective, but it's so subtle you can hardly see it, but it reminds me of the pattern in the subtle embossing folder. You guys, it is super thin, I will tell you that. It's not like normal designer series paper that has this nice thickness to it, and it is a little bit glossy. You can see it's shiny a little bit. It's a little bit glossy and a waxy-ish. It's smooth, it's very smooth. And so it's different to work with. And I have a card, I'll show you really quick here, a card that I made, if I can even find it. Wow, I have a pile of cards here. I want to wait and show you guys these on a different time, but I was going to show you it. Oh man, here it is. So this is it used in a card, just the circle, not colored. It just can be an accent piece, and that's how you would think to use it, and that's how I thought I was going to use it. And I'm looking for, oh, here you guys, hang on. Here's my card. It ended up right here. I did the same thing with my card. I used it as an accent piece behind the butterfly here. So I didn't do anything to it. And in this case, this is for an upcoming online class. I put it down here as an accent piece on the bottom. I didn't know what to do with it. And all of a sudden, we saw, oh yeah, you can color it. And there's such an assortment of different colors to change the texture of the wood grain, not the texture, but the color of the wood grain. And so I have them lined up here so you can see I did dark, light, dark, light, dark, light. And this is my favorite. This looks very natural and soothing to me. So first I have dark smoky slate was on the end, and then I did light smoky slate. And there's not much difference between the next one, which is dark gray granite and light gray granite. I do like the crumb cake a lot. So I've got the dark crumb cake, which is actually more like that color, and then the light crumb cake. You guys, look at my marker tips. I have no idea, but I got a dark and a light tip, a cap on mine. But so that was dark crumb cake and light crumb cake. So these are super cool to give you a different tone for the wood grain. So these are very soft. These are a little bit crazy. I will tell you also that to color on this paper was really hard with blends. These turned out beautifully. They just soaked in and they didn't leave a lot of streaks. The darker that I got with the colors, the streakier it got. And you can see my brush strokes and it was not so good. But what I've got here is dark soft suede and then light soft suede. So I kind of like the light soft suede. This one in the middle here, it's really crazy, but that is bronze, which is so cool. It gives it a little bit of a walnutty look to it. If I sound like I know my woods, I don't know. Then we've got, I believe this is dark cinnamon cider and light cinnamon cider, and that is your more rustic brown, rusty color. So yeah, just to show you guys, like that's what they look like. And then lastly, I have one more piece here, and you can use black. And I have, let's see here, I have a scrap here. So I did the dark black, but I was gonna just do the light black with you live here and show you, it's like coloring on something. It just doesn't wanna quite soak in. You have to be very careful with your brush stroke marks. So you can see that left a line like that. So as you're coloring this, to be consistent back and forth and going over it like that, it will help get the least amount of brush strokes. Then though, if you want to continue on here, you're going to be very careful because you're going to have that line in the middle. But that's what it looks like with a little bit of the light. Now the other thing Kelly and I were talking about was other colors. So like here's Misty Moonlight, and it might look really cool with a little bit of blue on it. That one colors good. I don't know what the deal is with some of them over here that weren't coloring so good. And know that the other side, it does soak through, but if you want to color the other side, you could definitely color the other side. But just know that with this specialty natural paper, think outside the box with the color and don't be discouraged that, oh, you don't necessarily think that this color is attractive to you. Think about all the colors of blends that you could use over the top of this to make it the color that you want it to. So that's just a little bit of a tip. Until Kelly came to me and said, hey, look at this idea. I was like, I was stumped with this paper because it was a little bit out of my element for coloring. So just to show you guys this again, there it is on its own. And then here you can use it as an accent piece. And then just to show you guys real quick a little bit about this new suite, there is a stamp set, and this is like the many messages that Kelly did for a Tip Tuesday not too long ago, where it's one big stamp like this. So I know that not everybody can do this, but if you can afford to and you want to, you could always get yourself 2 stamp sets, keep one together like this, but you could also then have a second one on standby and cut these apart and have individual butterfly stamps. That's what I plan to do. That's why I got 2 of them, because I really like the thought of being able to stamp this, and then on the die, there's this really big die that cuts out all of those butterflies. So I like that idea. So that's where Kelly did the technique Thursday last week with the big stamp like that. So that's perfect. But I also thought, oh, I really like to I like to stamp the insides of my cards, so I can see that little guy by itself and that one by itself or that one by itself. So that's one thing. The other thing you could do is if you do get one stamp set like this, you could very carefully cut your lines and not trim them. Then if you use the F block or the Stamparatus block, you could in essence put them back together so they fit like a puzzle and stamp it whole again. So there's ways to work around it. So, but you know me guys, I was like, I'm just gonna get 2 sets and not deal with that whole putting it all together. So here is what the dies look like. There's so many pretty intricate dies. So here's that sample with the one intricate, and here's another one that the designer paper got cut out of. Such pretty cards. And then you have your outlines, and then look at this on here too, you guys. So if you're in the market, oh man, I just got my tear and tape on the back here. So you guys, one of the things that I do is I put all my dies on magnet sheets, as you can see. And then I have a hard time shutting my cases when there's stamps in it, so I put a little tear and tape there. But you have to be careful not to set your dies, your magnet sheets right on top of that. So I was getting at here, there's this really awesome brick fold, this brick one, little patterns here, little baby dots. So super cool dies in this one. And then lastly, part of the suite is the designer paper, and it's all butterfly. It's so pretty with these pinks and blues. It's really matching the new in colors that are Misty Moonlight, the Just Jade, Magenta Madness, the Bumblebee. So it's really featuring a lot of the new in colors. One of the awesome things is this piece right here actually matches this die right here. So who doesn't love the fact that you don't have to sit there and color out all the butterflies, and you can die cut a whole bunch of them and have them ready to add to your cards. So that is super cool. Know that they have really come a long way with making the dies match the designer paper.
And you guys, this paper is beautiful, and this bundle or suite or whatever is a pull-up from what's going to be the new annual catalog. And this paper, however, is available just now. It's not going to carry into the annual catalog as well. So if
Correct.
you love this paper,
Stock
you
up.
got to get it now.
Stock up. Yeah.
Don't
good
wait
point.
for the annual catalog.
Yeah, so what Kelly said is the dies and the stamps carry over, but the specialty paper and the designer paper do not. The new annual catalog goes live May 3rd. So for March and April, 2 months is what you'll have to get your hands on as much of this paper as you want. So, but then I'm sure there's also gonna be more pretty paper coming out in the annual catalog. That's how it works. So, all right, that was your Tip Tuesday for today, March 2nd. We hope that that inspired you to maybe wanna entertain the thought of getting more butterflies and getting your hands on this awesome suite of product, and to use the specialty natural paper in a different way that you might not have thought to. So thanks so much, everybody. Love you. See you later. Bye.